Hello, I'm Neil Maud, Director of Technology at Arena Group, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this talk. In this session, I'm going to talk about how a retailer can become more efficient and resilient by embracing digital transformation. I'll be joined by some expert colleagues to introduce practical ways you can improve your operations with technology. But just before we get to that, I'd just like to take a moment to introduce Arena and our M-Store product. Arena Group are part of Xerox Corporation, and we've been providing document and information solutions for over 25 years in a wide variety of industries. Our flagship product in the automotive market is our M-Store electronic document management solution, which delivers document capture and management across an organisation. As well as the core elements of storing documents and making them available when needed, M-Store also allows control of processes. Storing documents can drive activities within your business. Doing this digitally rather than in paper brings visibility and easy sharing of information. Initially, we started working with AM100 top 10 retailers, but the technology fits with organisations of all sizes, from single locations to large groups. M-Store also integrates the wide variety of your existing software applications, including your DMS. The system is now live in over 600 dealerships and is used daily by thousands of users within those organisations. So that's who we are. Now, let's move on to the main part of our talk. Whilst most retailers have embraced digital for the external facing part of the customer experience, such as sales and contact systems, we found that operations behind the scenes are often still paper-based and may be very labour-intensive. This can mean that you carry an extra cost and may even impact your customer service. Clearly, digital transformation is a potential solution, but it can be hard to know when to start. To help with this, we've created a list of 10 ways you can benefit from digital working. Now, not all of these will suit every organisation, and you may even already be partway on your journey. However, we've found that, especially in these uncertain and fast-changing times, our customers have benefited greatly from these initiatives. So, without further ado, here's our first point: audit-ready digital files. Our industry is both highly regulated in terms of financial dealings, but also for compliance with franchise standards, and in particular warranty matters, which have the direct financial implications associated with those. In a paper world, there's a significant cost to creating and managing paper files over and above the business process that's been undertaken. Then, when it comes to an audit event, there's a burden of preparing for the audit, and also the time spent toing and froing on behalf of the auditor to retrieve files and make information available on demand. Missing information is always a risk, and it's also a lot easier to make sure something is recorded correctly at the time it's actually being done. For example, at the time of the service work in the case of warranty. So that's much better than trying to correct an error some months or potentially years after the event when you're preparing for an audit. And this compliance risk, it's only going to increase over time as more regulations are introduced, such as upcoming FCA. However, if you implement a digital process, for example, for deal file processing, you can add automated checks and balances as you go. This means that when the deal file is closed off, you can be sure it's correct at that time and ready to pass a future audit. You can even use a digital system to provide read-only information for auditors, possibly even giving auditors remote access to files, but in a controlled manner. Now, that might sound like quite a big change, but actually I'm talking about systems which work with your existing processes and wrap around your current systems, such as the DMS, and simply give you a single view of the truth that you know is correct at the time it's created. The further benefit is that you can work on a file from anywhere once it's in a digital form. So we've seen our customers get great benefit from this recently, both by sharing work between teams across multiple sites and by allowing home working during lockdown. So they're both getting the job done and keeping their staff as safe as possible. So that's point number one. I'll now hand over to the first of our experts, Richard Wells from our consultancy team, for some more benefits from replacing paper with a digital equivalent.
Hello, I'm Richard Wells, and it's my role as a pre-sales consultant to help the business better understand how they can adopt new technology in the ever-evolving way in which we now conduct our business and interact with customers. Freeing up staff from the traditional office and desk environment is a key part of this digital journey. Allowing your colleagues to access the up-to-date information that they need is crucial in allowing them to make informed decisions in a timely, efficient way. With the recent change to more home and distance working, which is now more than ever the way in which we are working, and for some will become the normal part of their working environment. It's not just home workers who will benefit, but the business can start to look at centralising some roles and functions which traditionally would be difficult to do with a paper process. And this is possible with a proven platform like MStore. The figures on screen relate to MStore uptake in the latter part of 2020, with more customers joining every month. With any change, we must consider how to give secure and audited access to the people who need it, and give the business reassurance that the information is only being accessed by the people who are authorised. Working digitally allows your working practices to change for the better, like for a group audit and compliance, allowing this to be done more regularly and even whilst the sale is in progress. With a digital process, checks can be done more frequently and remotely, allowing more time to be spent on any problem areas within the business, rather than just driving around different dealerships, checking a process which is already working correctly for you. Streamlining processes can take many forms, from removing the mundane to the efficient use of your colleagues' precious time, in both reducing the amount of effort to access the necessary information and also limiting colleagues double-checking tasks which have already been done by other colleagues. Savings of over 50% aren't uncommon, and these can be easily achieved with a digitised process. Virtue now has 30% less administration colleagues, which was part of their reported 10 million annualised savings. In our latest case study, Virtue's confirmed that this is all to do with their efficiencies or part of gaining their admin department, using tools such as MStore that integrates with their own sales platform. Other customers have proven some real-world feedback in their use of MStore to free up staff and more value activities to what they do. And the quotes are now on screen. MStore helps the business to see at a glance information relating to a particular sale or after-sale job, and it's crucial to also show to the business what is missing and needs to be then later found. Traditional post is evolving, and we need to embrace the fact that the business will still receive many physical items, but how do we ensure that this doesn't become a burden? By digitising inbound post as it arrives in the business, we can ensure that we can both keep a track of what's arriving and route this to the most appropriate colleague efficiently and quickly. For simple things like customer complaints, having a digitised process allows the business to keep a track and manage these more easily, as reputation now more than ever is key. Social media allows your customers to share content easily which can be misleading and taken out of context and can easily materially affect your business. So it's crucial that you keep on top of these complaints and manage them in an efficient way. Other areas around the business, like management of inbound and outbound post, can be taken care of with hybrid mail from Xerox, which Arena Group is now part of. As well as digitising inbound post, users can simply print any outbound correspondence and let Xerox take care of the printing and posting. It's a simple, managed process. The world of paper isn't quite dead, but we are moving to a more digital world, so it seems madness that one of the smartest pieces of tech around, your car, has a sales paper process at all. Digitising isn't just going digital, it's about being able to securely store all the information in an easily accessible way, which can be audited and remain compliant throughout its life cycle. MStore is the glue which pulls all these pieces of information together from your sales systems, including emails and letters, into one easily manageable process. Traditional paper mountains are a thing of the past, both freeing up space and the management and associated costs of paper, not just printing and management, but also storing and moving boxes around and clearing the archive once they've reached their limit. A dealership recently told me about their business having to pay PPI claims, not because they'd done anything untoward, but because they couldn't find the evidence dating back many years. FCA regulations are tightening and future claims will be thought up within the next 7-year life cycle of your archive, so the business needs to prepare itself against unforeseen events and speculative litigation. Digitisation is a journey which the M-Store team have helped many customers from a broad range of sectors and continue to do so. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat and we'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm James Spencer and I work alongside Richard within the digital services team as a pre-sales consultant at the Arena Group. Dealerships such as eStar have been using the M-Store platform to digitise relevant documentation, even through periods of lockdown and remote working, and recognise the improvements they've seen in their cash flow. By deploying accounts payable automation technologies, dealerships can streamline invoicing and payment processes, as well as provide access to a wealth of financial and operational data. The benefits are many, perhaps too many to cover in this brief session, and each organisation will see many different benefits, so I'll focus on just the 4. The first is a reduction in the processing costs for invoices. £10 or higher is not unusual when you consider both the direct and indirect costs, and by implementing an invoice automation solution, dealerships can expect to see that cost fall significantly, perhaps to below £3 per invoice. By digitising the invoice or processing it in its original format, it not only removes paper from the process, it also allows our solutions to read and to validate the invoice electronically, and then to route it around the business for an approval. And ultimately, we want to create a transaction in your DMS or finance system. Secondly is a reduction in the duplicate and fraudulent invoices, which can be costly for any organisation. Perhaps because of your invoice payment history or a supplier's business process, it's not uncommon for those suppliers to send out multiple invoices for the same product or services requesting payment, which may result in the invoice being paid twice or more. Accounts payable solutions can automatically detect and alert you when you receive a duplicate invoice, and alert you when the invoice arrives from an unknown supplier, or perhaps supplier whose contact details have changed or banking details have changed inexplicably. Working with problematic invoices from suppliers is always a time-consuming process. This third area that automation solutions can help with is the collation of data on those invoices, allowing you to work with suppliers and correct issues occurring so that invoices from those suppliers in the future aren't going to cause delays in the processing and payment, effectively making your processes more efficient and streamlined. And this can lead on to a fourth benefit, allowing you to optimize payment terms and to work with your suppliers to leverage discounts for early settled invoices. This greater control and visibility of spend afforded by accounts payable solutions can improve your decision-making processes and keep your businesses running smoothly. If you have any questions on the digitizing of your accounts payable process, please ask them via the chat. Working digitally with M-Store, as Richard outlined, keeps everything up to date with continuous access to the right data at all times, regardless of location. Meaning that M-Store users such as Virtue, who we quoted earlier on in this presentation, can stay on top of things. This can be done remotely with centralized teams that cover for one another, from one site to another, or as recent experience has shown, working remotely from home in the event of an unforeseen crisis. IT services, also available with Arena, offer business continuity to seamlessly access all of your server or cloud-based data and systems wherever you choose to work to minimize disruption to your business. Consultants can assist with their internal processes and infrastructure to identify points of failure and any use of IT systems, storage and activity taking place within the business that is not controlled by internal IT, such as IT departments setting up their own Dropbox accounts. With the emerging needs for flexible working without compromising on security and exposing your dealership to risk, it's a good time to review how IT and digital tools can deliver workplace recovery and protect your dealership.
Thanks, James. My name's Andy Cowling. I'm Channel Marketing at Fujitsu. Our next tip is around managing your customers' data and providing a secure, seamless experience. Moving from paper to digital and embracing digital transformation to automate your processes can bring a wealth of direct and indirect benefits. We have a scanning solution that is designed to meet the needs of evolving customer-facing environments where the experience needs to be fast, safe, compliant, and efficient. This scanning solution will enable an interaction that maximizes customer service and satisfaction and increases the confidence of your employees and their productivity. The FI 800R is a compact scanner for front desks where space is at a premium and there is a need for ensuring instant access to critical information and a smooth integration with existing systems. It is versatile, can handle multiple document formats such as passports, identification and general documents, and with automated data capture can find relevant information and pre-populate those directly into your workflows, both quickly, compliantly and efficiently. This is all done through intuitive routines that can automatically clean up your scanned image, extract content and instantly route to a preferred location such as a digital filing system. In today's working environment, the ability to access any time and anywhere with just a simple keyword search helps set your business apart and enable the use of data analytics and speedier informed decision making. It means that it is now easier than ever to obtain that proof of identity for test drives, to obtain a courtesy vehicle for after sales, and even for staff onboarding within your HR environment. The capture can be done in front of the customer, so that eliminates the need to hand identification over. This helps contact to be kept to an absolute minimum and means there's no lengthy delays whilst copies, for example, are made behind the scenes. This creates a seamless customer experience, increases your employees' productivity and empowerment, and whilst all at the same time making sure that you're enhancing security and compliance to address those GDPR concerns. So essentially, intelligent processes increase productivity, and increased productivity helps to underpin business growth and continuity. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. I think the opportunities for customers scanning their own ID is a great idea for going contactless in dealerships. I'm Gillian Murray. I'm the Group Head Marketing at Arena Group. Whether your dealership has investor relations or community values in mind, it's great to see that smart tech can also help you achieve your sustainability goals and create some important goodwill and equity to associate with your brand. Going green could be as simple as introducing more paperless working, as we've already shared. Digital working removes paper, print and associated production, and the stats shared by our M-Store customers on screen now are quite remarkable. You can also rethink any remaining print and copier infrastructure and use more energy efficient devices to reduce carbon footprint, and even consider options that reduce the need for regular toner deliveries. And for sure, check out how Follow Me software cuts significant levels of unnecessary waste. Analytics and regular reporting is available, which can also show how you are delivering on your commitment to go greener, which is a great tool for local PR, for your social media output, or your annual report messaging. Tech can provide some great tools to help you chip away at your carbon footprint. So ideally, you should work with a partner that can look at the big picture and tackle your aspirations to go greener, taking a variety of approaches which can also deliver on all the other business benefits we're outlining today.
Thanks, Gillian. Let's just now touch on the contracting processes. Specifically, I'd like to talk about two aspects of safety in the sales process, keeping your team and your customers safe and making sure the contract is safe for you as a retailer. Now, the former, taking a signature from a customer who's at your site could involve wet signature on paper. However, these days, handling paper and swapping it, moving it between different parties isn't really ideal, and that's for many obvious current reasons. Now, preferable to this is a digital signature process. So even when the customer's at your premises, there's technology that allows a customer to digitally sign a document, potentially on their own phone, and make the process contactless, no sharing of pens. This can obviously be extended to allowing customers to digitally sign documents when they aren't at your location. Now, digital signatures are, of course, still legally valid. And the ins and outs of that process can be a whole topic in its own right that we won't have time for today. However, when we start talking about off-site trading, then distance selling regulations come into play also. And this is where the contractual risk can come in. There are consumer protections which allow goods, in this case the car, to be handed back for full refund, not something you want to happen in the automotive environment. Again, the details of the regulations will be a separate topic and one which you should pick up with legal advice. But one mitigation to this risk is to make sure you have appropriate terms included with the signature pack when you're asking a customer to remotely sign a document. This is something which a good digital signature solution can add to the pack with a specific request for the customer to sign to say that they've read and understood the additional terms. It's something we've included in the digital signature tools within MStore, within our solutions. And this makes for an overall solution which is much more robust and appropriate for automotive than even just a generic digital signature solution. A number of the different points we've discussed today involve giving your team the right and the most modern tools with which to do their work. And as well as contributing to their general well-being and resilience, there's lots of evidence that being a digital business will help you to attract and retain the right skills and the most talented people. And after all, it's people who serve customers and ultimately create a successful business. And whether this is achieved by giving people the right tools, removing mundane tasks, or making flexible homework a reality, or a combination of all of the above, digital is going to contribute to a better, smarter, and more collaborative workplace. So, just as a final wrap up, a digital transformation is about looking at the whole picture and addressing each issue in a way which works in your context. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, and we've talked about quite a varied range of technologies today, but every organisation will require something different. We think a key to success is working with the right team of people to steer your digital journey, and that's why Arena have created our team of specialists, not just in the technology, but its application in the automotive retail environment. So we're at the end of our talk now. I'm sure you join me in thanking Richard, James, Gillian and Andrew for their time today. We hope you found something in our list which chimes with your business and your needs. Next, we'll have some time to take your questions, so please pop them into the chat. However, please also do visit our stand in the virtual exhibition, and we'll look forward to speaking with you then.
Good morning and welcome to this AM Live virtual Q&A session with the team from Arena Group. I hope you enjoyed their presentation. There's plenty to take out of that. I'm Tom Sharp, News and Features Editor for AM, and I'm joined by Neil Maud, Director of Technology at Arena Group, Richard Wells, Digital Services Consultant, James Spencer, Digital Services Consultant also, and Gillian Murray, Head of Group Marketing. Welcome to AM Live, all you guys. How have you found the event so far?
It's been good fun so far. Yeah, some nice chat engagement, catching up with a few people as well. It's obviously it's a learning process for us. You know, it's the first time we've done this virtually, so it's a little bit different, some slightly different skills, but yeah, fun.
Great stuff. Well, you'll be glad to hear that engagement seems to have been pretty good with your presentation, and I know a lot of people have taken the time to visit your stand and download some information as well, which is a really useful asset. But I want to field a couple of the questions that have come into us, and the first we have here from one of the webinar listeners is quite an interesting one. I hate nagging certain staff about their paperwork, missing details and lost appraisal sheets, etc. Shouldn't software do it for me by now? That's the question.
Yeah, great question, Tom. And yes, the software, the stuff that we do actually does that for you, but it's not done in a kind of a nagging process. Because I know everybody hates it when your manager turns up at your desk, where's XYZ piece of paper, you go into a flurry, you look round everywhere, and if you find it, but actually it's a bit stressful for both parties. It's the bit that people hate doing. Whereas an electronic document system is going to push information to people, and it's going to highlight what you need to do. So if I'm the person doing the process, I'm going to see something highlighted to me. And if it's got a due date that's impending, it's, our systems tend to go, amber and then red and start warning you that, okay, this needs to be done. But because it's in a digital world now, rather than a piece of paper on someone's desk, actually, it's visible to others who need to. So your manager actually can also see, there's the queue of work, that's what's getting done. If we're emailing reminders to people, we don't do it every 5 minutes. We might say, okay, you've got a new document to work on. You get a reminder. You might get a once a day, you've got 6 documents in this queue that need working on, but you don't get barraged with it, because that's quite important for how people feel about using the systems.
Yeah, I think the key point in there was nagging, I suppose. You don't want a software system doing the nagging either, do you, really? It can be quite intrusive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great stuff. We have been joined by Andy Cowling now, channel marketing specialist from Fujitsu, who you saw in the presentation. So hopefully he'll be able to respond to some of the questions as well. James or Richard, I guess that question to you guys as well, really, is this nagging issue something that clients often talk to you guys about when talking about their paperless systems?
I think actually, as Neil mentioned, I think it's visibility that MStore really helps towards any kind of digital system. Once they move from a paper process, I think the problem with a paper process is very much that it's on your desk and somebody then says, well, where's this particular deal file? Where's the service record? They have to go and hunt for it. It could be in a multitude of places. By bringing this together in a digital way, you can look online, you can see if it's there or not. The system will tell you if it's there or not, and then you can say, well, if it's not there, where is it? Is it got that level of the process yet? Or if it's not, you can chase the individual up. It's very much about the looking at how you process. So if an individual needs to look at a document, they can do it. And it's very much to look at a centralized on a decentralized system as well. So individuals can, wherever they are in the business, can securely look at a document, look at information straight away. As far as the nagging point of view is concerned, the idea is not for the software to start sending you emails constantly, because that just gets too much noise. Anywhere where we send an email reminder with infrequent, based on a set criteria, so then you would take action. Otherwise, individuals just look at these and say it's another email, I'll just put it into my deleted folder. So the process, the solution, the only solution there is to drive process, increase visibility, and not necessarily to be on the back of people.
Great stuff. Thanks for that. Richard, that's really useful insight. I guess we'll best skip on to the next question, because, like I said, we've only got a few minutes left. The next question that we've had submitted from a listener. Thanks, Bob, for this. Do you think there is still resistance to introducing such technology into dealership workplaces, and if so, why is that? Can one of you please try and broach that subject?
I'll just dive in on that one. There's always resistance to change. Yeah, people are in a job, they're doing a good job, and then somebody comes along and says, actually, we'd like to change it. Now, the guidance I would always give is you've got to be really clear from a management perspective. This is why we need to change. This is the purpose behind this. It's not just a kind of a random thing. It's got a purpose behind it. Then you make that change and you make it permanent afterwards. So some management support. But yeah, people get a little bit uncomfortable about change. But what we find with our systems, because we design them with the person, the user at the heart of that, actually embracing it, then people, we ask people 6 months later, do you want, how do you feel about the system? What if you didn't have it? And we're like, well, actually, no, we're keeping it. We're really pleased with this now. So I think it's supporting people through that hurdle of change, because you have to explain your why. And I think having technology that is easy to use contributes a lot to that as well, so people can get to grips with it. I know that Andy, your technology is particularly designed to be easy to use and integrate into the workplace. Is that right?
Indeed, that's one of our sort of key USPs that we're trying to push around our products. And you're right, Neil, it's that reticence of staff who have their habits, their daily routines, to want to change, and it's just about educating. We've recently done a report on organizational intelligence within businesses, and where are they on their digital transformation journey, and what are those key things that they perceive to be the biggest stumbling blocks. And it is generally the employees and their mindsets that are one of those big hurdles that we have.
How do you go about approaching that with staff then, sort of the training, the implementation?
Yeah, well, like Neil said, a lot of it is around the training piece. It's around educating. What are those positives that you're going to gain out of embracing digital transformation? It's around trying to educate that this is all about enabling you to do your job better, getting rid of some of those admin heavy tasks and enabling you to perhaps offer more of a customer focused approach to your role. So we sell our document scanning solutions to a wide range of verticals, and it's the typical mantras. It's allowing teachers to teach, it's allowing nurses to nurse, and so on. And that's particularly important as well in the automotive sector.
I would say it's also about support as well for the individuals who are adopting new technology, and the fact that if you have internal champions and people who will, you know, move forward with any technology and help others along that journey, because some people are tech savvy, other people are resistant, other people have got a fear of doing stuff wrong as well. So you need to embrace people and say, actually give it a go. You know, you can't break the software, you can't break the solution. You know, the best kind of feedback is when customers ask a question about certain elements of the application or a certain usage. It's always mainly about a business process. It's how the business process needs to change to the software rather than that, and it's how people understand that and do the best, because everyone wants to do the best. It's just that transition that's always a bit difficult initially, but there is great reward if you continue down that journey.
So do you have something to add, Gillian? Yes.
Yeah, sorry. There's some great examples of that from dealerships that we've worked with, available from our stand or indeed our website. The Donnelly's video is a great example. Top tips there from Leslie Savage from Donnelly Group. And the eStar case study goes into a little bit of detail as to how that system was rolled out successfully, even in lockdown. So there's good insights from dealerships available there.
And is that part of the information that people can pick up from the stand, Gillian?
Yes, absolutely. If you click on the videos and the document tabs, you'll be able to see a number of case studies from Vertu, Donnelly's, and many others.
Great stuff. Can we just remind the listeners whereabouts you can be found in the halls there?
Yes.
That'd be useful.
If you click on Hall 2, you'll see us straight away. We are stand 2.
Great stuff. Great stuff. I'm sure you'll get a few visitors through the doors. Yeah. Just one last question, and I guess it's quite pertinent. We've only got a few moments left, but how important is this paperless shift for retailers trying to make a virtue of their eco-friendliness as we move towards more EV-focused transportation?
Ooh. I mean, certainly going digital is going to help you to have a lower eco footprint of your own operation. Okay, and there's a number of tips around that in the discussion we had in the video, but I think it's all about the customer experience as we move much towards eco vehicles, and that's much more in the mind of the consumer. The consumer is going to be thinking about the whole process end to end, and our systems are about how you can take some friction out of that. Customer actually wants to purchase a vehicle, and making sure that experience is really streamlined for them. The worst thing will be somebody's going through that. They have a great experience potentially up to the point of actually placing the order for the vehicle, and then there's bits of paper in the background because it's like the swan paddling away furiously. Pieces of paper in the background which then cause little snags. Actually, you want that to be a digital experience right throughout, and then into their after sales. So it's all about the customer experience, and that's where I think the strong eco piece comes through.
Good answer, Neil. Thanks ever so much. I'm afraid that leaves us sort of out of time for the Q&A, but I know you guys will be obviously in and around the stand, welcoming people in for a chat, and also it's worth noting that you can probably go into the chat room and find any of the Arena team if you've got any inquiries or you've got questions beyond this Q&A that you wish to ask. Thanks ever so much for joining us for this live Q&A at Automotive Management Virtual 2021.